Okay, we're live. There's our dragon and our tiger. Okay, so I want you to know that every time you see me, I'm going to drop some pearls. This is the most amazing time of your life. And whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching on the replay, it does not matter. This is mind-blowing. I've dedicated 42 years of my life to preserving health, to promoting health, to teaching people how to be healthy, to empowering people about creating health for themselves. And now, everything that I've learned, everything that I've taught, everything that I've put into practice for myself, and everything that I've written, spoken, played, is now coming into play. Because there's a certain belief system that there's something outside of you that can kill you faster than you can kill yourself. I have always said that there's a self-destructive streak within human beings. We all self-sabotage. We sabotage our relationships. We sabotage our sleep. We sabotage our economic foundations. We even sabotage our transportation. We beat up our cars. So we've got this self-destructive streak. We've got self-limiting beliefs. And we've got automatic negative thoughts. And all that affects your spiritual health, your mental health, and your physical health. So now there's a virus. Well, there's always been a virus. HIV was brought to the public's attention in 1984. I remember it distinctly because I was on the front line and I had patients who died of HIV. And it really, really bothered me. And it was called the gay disease. And until 50,000 gay men died, our government did not step in to do something to combat this dis-ease. And 1994, 2004, 2014, 36 years later, guess what? HIV is still killing people. 36 years later. And guess what's going to happen with Corona? 36 years from now, it's still going to be killing people. There was no vaccine for HIV. There was only a chemical cocktail of control. A chemical cocktail of control. There's no vaccine for HIV because it mutates. And guess what Corona does? It also mutates. So you can't come up with a vaccine for something that mutates every 2,000 lifetimes. And lifetime in a virus could be 1 day. A lifetime could be 12 hours. Who knows what the lifetime of a virus is of something that's not alive? So we're talking about replicating itself 2,000 times. That could be in 24 hours. So there's facts mixed with misinformation, mixed with disinformation, and the public is at a loss. So I fact check everything I say. I fact check it. And feel free to call me on it. If I say something that's incorrect, feel free to call me, provide your sources, and I will definitely concede. I'm not attached to being right. I'm only attached to saving your life. So, are we ready?
Start from the top.
Okay, this is Ask Dr. Love podcast, where you get to ask questions about Asian medicine, food, herbs, and your health. This podcast is designed to answer questions about things which most people don't think about, don't consider. And that's why I created this podcast, Ask Dr. Love. It's heard on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on Radio Play. And if you want to listen to the archive shows, you can go to anchor.fm/Ask Dr. Love. Or you could just say, Siri, play Ask Dr. Love podcast. Or Alexa, play Ask Dr. Love podcast. You can even ask Google. So the point is, here we are, and today is April 10th. It's a very important day. I want you to remember this day. Today is 21 days before the governors of most states end the lockdown, the shut-in, the quarantine period, whatever name you want to call it. April 30th is the deadline, and May 1st, we're all out of jail. So, bustin' loose. I meant to pull up that soundtrack. Feel like bustin' loose. So, what are we going to do for the next 21 days? Well, I'm going to talk you through it. We're going to do something different every day for 21 days to prepare us for when we get out of jail. Self-imposed, of course. So we're going to break this into 21 days into 3 weeks. So the first 7 days, we're going to prepare for juicing feast. Juice feast, which is juicing 4 times a day. So we're going to start with juicing for dinner for 3 nights. So today is the 10th. So 11th, 12th, 13th, we're going to juice for dinner. You're going to eat fruit for breakfast, and you're going to eat salad for lunch. Then the next 4 days, we're going to juice for breakfast and dinner, and you're going to eat salad for lunch. So that's 7 days. So that's the 10th. That's the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 17th. Then the 18th day, we're going to go to juicing 4 times a day. So what's in this juice? You want to know. 50% celery, 25% carrot, 25% beet, a 2-inch piece of ginger, a 2-inch piece of turmeric. So that's fresh ginger, fresh turmeric, 6 ounces of celery, 3 ounces of carrot, 3 ounces of beet. So that's right around 12.5 ounces, which you're going to take 4 times a day for the second week. Then the third week, we're going to go into all raw, and we're going to make a pesto, a nut meat pate. So my favorite is pumpkin seed and basil. So we're going to take a bunch of basil, we're going to take 6 ounces of pumpkin seeds, 3 ounces of olive oil, 5 little teeth of garlic, a sprinkle of turmeric, a sprinkle of soy sauce, high-speed blender, and that's going to be our pesto. We can also do that with spinach and walnuts. We can also do that with cilantro and Brazil nuts. We can also do that with almonds and sun-dried tomatoes. We can also do that with cashew and collard greens or sunflower seeds and kale. So I've got 7 different flavors. I'll give you the recipes. It's a gift. So that pesto then becomes a dip, a spread, a sauce, a salad dressing, and if we're eating raw, and I will give you, when you email me, I'll give you the list of acceptable raw foods. Now, there's a lot of greens that we love, like broccoli. You could eat broccoli raw, but it's better if it's lightly steamed. You could eat snow peas raw, but it's better if they're lightly steamed. You could eat string beans raw, but it's better if they're lightly steamed. Now, there's a whole lot of other things that you can eat raw, and I'm going to put that in the PDF. When you email me, you're going to have access to that PDF. What's better steamed, what's better raw, and then how to make the nut meat pate and how to put that on your, make it a dip, a spread, a sauce, or a dressing. And that will get you through your 7 days raw. So that's going to take us up to 21 days. Then at that point, you get a chance to join the purification program. So starting May 1st, we're going to be doing purification. So I want you to join us on this 21-day journey to be well. You've got to breathe well to be well. And I know you've got lots of questions already. What if I don't have a juicer? What's my acceptable substitute? What if I'm allergic to celery? What if I'm allergic to beets? What if I can't stand carrots? Where do I get all this stuff? All those are legitimate questions that we're not going to cover in the podcast. If you go to patreon.com/DrQILOVE, Dr. Chi Love, and register with Patreon, all those questions will be in a frequently asked questions. All the answers to those questions that you have right now will be there. And if you start this journey, I want you to join us. I want you to let us know that you're committed to following our 21-day program. So to reiterate, for the next 7 days, you are going to start with fruit for breakfast, salad for lunch, and you're going to juice for dinner. So you have plenty of time to get ready to start your juice. The best juicer to get would be a slow juicer. A lot of people have juicers. They lent them out. They gave them away. They're in storage. Go get it back. Get those juicers back. Get them out of the closet. Dust them off. Check the moving parts. Get your juicer ready. Okay, I can't afford a juicer. Okay, Bolt House Farms. Go to your local grocery store. Go to the produce manager and say, I want to get carrot juice. I want to get beet juice, and I want to get greens. What can you order for me? Or you can go directly to Bolt House Farms. Either way, you've got to drink juice. We have to cut our dependency on sugar, on flour, on dairy, on salt, on animal fat, and fried. We have to cut down our dependency on those things because they cause plaque, they cause mucus. Mucus-forming food sets up the internal environment so that we can be penetrated by virus, bacteria, parasites, and fungi. So it's all up to you. There's no power outside of you that's greater than you. You control the internal environment. And if we stop the self-sabotage, in 21 days, you will be so strong, you'll be so fierce that nothing can attack you. There's a comedy I saw a couple of years ago. It was called 100 Ways to Die in the West, or 99 Ways to Die in the West. Man has always been under assault, always, whether it's from wild animals or little microscopic animals. We are being attacked by predators, by mites, by parasites, by insects, you name it, they want to live off of us. And the only way to combat that is by building your immune system. And that's what I'm here to teach you, is how to build your immune system. So the Juice Feast, the 21 days to be well, that's our starting point. Okay? Do we have any questions so far?
Yeah, we do have a couple questions. All right, can you introduce the question portion?
Okay, so if love is the answer, what's your question?
All right, the first question is, what foods will protect you from EMFs and 5G radiation?
Wow, that's an excellent question. The best way to deal with EMF radiation is going to be parsley. It's going to be sea vegetables. They literally pull radiation out of the body. So, nori, wakame, hijiki, arame, you may not know what any of those things are, but those are all sea vegetables that are eaten on a regular basis in Japan. That's why we use Japanese names, but they can be obtained easily in the United States, even though they have Japanese names. So if you email me, did we give out, is the email on the list somewhere? They can email or direct message, whatever. I will send you out a list of all of the sea vegetables. I actually wrote a book called the Simple Intelligent Nutrition Guide. Way back in 1998, I wrote that book. It's probably out of print, but I'm sure I have an ebook. Oh, The Kitchen Physician. That book is still in print. Yes, so if you want to order the ebook, The Kitchen Physician's Guide to Food Therapy, that book's in print, and those foods are listed, those sea vegetables are listed in that book.
We have a question in regards to pain. How can I relieve the pain, Stephanie Lloyd, from the Blue Dragon tribe?
Okay, so how can I relieve pain?
Between my shoulders.
Pain between the shoulders.
If I stand too long, the sharp pain I feel gets worse. I stretch, use the hitting pad, and do qigong. What else can I do?
Okay, so the first exercise I'm going to teach you is called the teacup. So you have to maintain your teacup without spilling it. And if you do that for 5 minutes with each arm, forwards and backwards, that will relieve that pain between your shoulder blades. You can also get a 2-pound rubber ball and you can lay on it. And do we have our chi baton?
Yeah, it's on right here.
Can you let me see the chi baton?
Wait, is this the chi baton?
That's a version of it. That's not the one that we sell, but this is what it looks like. So you've got, this goes right on. So your spine is in the center. These two things go on either sides, and this is what you use to roll it. But we will show you the chi roller, the chi baton that we have for sale momentarily. So that's how you can get rid of the pain between your shoulder blades.
Joyce asks, where can I buy sea moss?
You're going to have to get that online. Depends on what city you're in, what state you're in. Wherever there's a West Indian community, there's a grocery store, and in the West Indian grocery store you can get sea moss.
Invite people to ask questions.
So we're going to open this up. This is called Ask Dr. Love. So any questions you have about viruses, sleep, exercise, breathing, meditation, internal strengthening, any questions you have about Asian medicine, whether it's acupuncture, cupping, gua sha, electrostim, any questions you might have, Now's the time to ask them. So people ask me all the time, are you a rapper, because they've heard my songs. Well, I'm here to tell you, I'm too old to rap and I cannot sing. But I wrote a rap about 20 years ago. My aunt was the only one who loved it. My cousins trashed me on it. But I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Grains and beans, fruits and greens, and roots and seeds. This is the food that you must eat if you want to be the best on your feet. I said, now grains and beans, roots and greens, fruits and seeds. This is the food that you must eat if you want to be the best on your feet. So that's a little hip hop sample. That's from 20 years ago. So we want to change your diet, and every season the diet changes. So what you eat at the 4th of July picnic is not the food that you eat at Thanksgiving. What you eat at Easter dinner is not the food that you eat on celebration of fall and the back to school Sunday dinner. So every season your diet changes. So it is our belief that you need to clean out the body to prepare for the new food. So we want to get that residue out, and that's why we do a 7-day juice feast every 3 months when the seasons change. So we're going to pick the date March 23rd arbitrarily as the date of spring. It could have been the 20th or the 21st. We're just going to pick March 23rd. So 7 days after, which would have been April 1st, to 7 days before, that would be the ideal time. Now, can you do it anytime? Of course you can do it anytime. There doesn't need to be a specific date to do the juice feast. So now is the time to prepare for the juice feast starting April 17th. So April 17th, we're going to do our 7-day juice feast. Today is April 10th, so from now to the 16th is going to be our preparation time. Okay, April 10th through the 16th. So if you haven't eaten breakfast, make sure you have fruit. If you're eating lunch, make sure it's a salad. And for dinner, you're going to have your juice. And you can always contact me and I will send you all the details. I have a 6-page PDF, no charge. I'm going to send that to you.
All right, we have a couple questions. How often can you eat sea vegetables daily?
Well, we recommend 2 ounces every day. So how often? For the rest of your life, because people in Japan live to be 90, 95 years old. They're one of the longest lived populations, and they eat sea vegetables every single day, probably more than 2 ounces.
Please don't forget to repeat the question. The next question is, how do I cut the gas when beans doesn't do it?
How do I cut the gas when beans doesn't do it? Okay, I'm not sure exactly.
Well, that's the question. I mean, like gas, like feeling gassy. That's the question I'm reading. But
Beans, good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you. Okay. Farting is a natural and normal consequence of digestion. They've done studies where they've wrapped men and women up in diapers and had a hose attached, and they one ate one diet, one ate another diet, and over a week's period of time they tested the amount of gas. They both had the same amount of gas. So gas is normal. Now there's something called eructation. It's a 50-cent word, and that's like when it's like really loud and blasting.
She said Beano, gas from beans. Beano is a gas cutting product.
Okay.
It's, Linda, you can follow.
Okay, so Beano, I don't know what that is. It sounds great if it works. But what you should do is soak your beans for 24 hours before you cook them, because the gas in beans is the outer layer. So by soaking them for 24 hours, you get that gas out. Then you boil the beans for an hour, and then you put them in a pressure cooker for 4 hours. So I'm going to repeat that process. Soak for 24 hours, boil for 1 hour, put it in a crock pot for 4 hours. You will not get any gas in your beans.
All right. Someone asked, I have a baby. What qigong can I do with a 6-month-old?
Well, I would strap the baby to my chest, and I would do the same qigong that everybody else does with the baby strapped to my chest.
And the last question is, what would you recommend for thyroid functioning? I have a client with a swollen thyroid, and I'm hesitant to give her CMOS. Should there be something I can offer her?
Yes, well, obviously iodine and iodine-based foods. But I would want to do a test to see if it's hyper or hypo. And if she's got a swelling, then it's definitely hypo. And then we have a Chinese herb formula specifically for hypo thyroid.
Couple more questions. What can you tell us now about the popular celery juicing?
What can I tell you now about the popular celery juicing? I've been using celery juice since 1983. When I first studied Chinese medicine, before I actually went to school, because I studied it for 2 years before I joined a program, and the treatment for high blood pressure is a pound of celery juiced 3 times a day for 90 days erases plaque. And this was when the Chinese government could not afford to buy Western drugs to offer to their population. So this was the natural remedy. Anthony Williams wrote a book on celery juice, and I think it's an excellent book. And celery juice is good for a lot of different things. I feel that celery is boring. After about 2 weeks, you never want to smell celery again. So that's why I added 3 ounces of carrot and 3 ounces of beet to the 6 ounces of celery. So celery cleans the plaque out of the blood vessels. Beets, through betaine, replace the minerals lost due to stress. And carrots increase blood flow to the smallest blood vessels in your body, which are in your eye. So that is the reason why I mix carrots, celery, and beets together. And ginger is a blood cleanser, and turmeric is an immunogen and an adaptogen. So that means it's cardioprotective and tumor protective and adaptogenic. That means it allows you to adapt to uncertain climactic conditions.
What are the seasonal foods that we should be looking to eat in May, June? Please repeat the question.
Okay, so what are the seasonal foods that you should be eating in May or June? Well, the answer to that is whatever is locally grown and whatever is in season. So within 500 miles of where you live, anything that's farmed, anything that's produced is applicable for May and June in your area, not coming from New Zealand or Mexico or Israel or Peru or someplace like that.
What fruits for breakfast on your cleanse, mono or variety?
Well, I prefer berries and cherries. So blueberries, blackberries, golden berries, raspberries, and cherries. That's what I would prefer if they're in season and you can get them. If they're not, then we want to do watermelon, Crenshaw, honeydew melon, and muskmelon and cantaloupe. So melons by themselves, berries by themselves, those would be the ideal fruits to eat for a fruit feast for breakfast.
Are beans in a can okay?
Beans in a can are okay because they're trying. There's a shelf life of beans, which is going to tell you on the can what the shelf life is. So make sure you check the shelf life, and you want to consume the beans as soon as you get them, or shortly after you get them. Don't leave them in your cabinet for a year.
All right, and the last question. Is colloidal silver safe to ingest, and how long can you use it? Please repeat the question.
Okay, is colloidal silver safe to ingest, and how long can you use it? Okay, colloidal silver is definitely an excellent antibacterial. It is not antiviral. Colloidal silver will not kill a virus, but it will kill bacteria. So I believe it's a teaspoon in 8 ounces of water or 30 drops under the tongue. These are the things that we use for antibacterial, but you do not want to use them for viruses. And yes, you can use them every day.
All right, and okay, well, let's keep it going. I feel the vibe. Is it okay to add protein powder in the morning berry smoothie? Bananas, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. Is it okay to add protein powder?
Is it okay to add protein powder after you work out? Your berries should be before you work out, then your workout, and then you add the protein powder, because you want to restore the protein that you lost from your exercise.
All right, that sums up all the questions.
Okay, so you got to tune in tomorrow. Tonight for the webinar. And we're going to talk about the vaccine for COVID-19. You don't have to wait 18 months, and you do not need an inoculation. You're going to get a love injection instead. So I'm going to give you a hint. Magnesium sulfate. You're going to take a bath with magnesium sulfate. Why am I going to do that? Because it's going to relax my muscles. Why do I want to relax my muscles? Because when you're angry, when you're tense, when you're tight, you restrict blood flow, blood oxygen, and blood nutrients. So anger affects the chest and the shoulders. And so as you restrict that, unconsciously you tighten the muscles in your neck. So when your neck muscles are tight, then you restrict blood flow to your brain. So magnesium is one of the nutrients, one of the minerals that is lost during stress. So when we take a hot bath with magnesium sulfate, the muscles relax. The heat opens up the pores of the skin, so toxins can then escape, but magnesium is literally absorbed into the blood. And then magnesium allows the immune system to kick in. And that's why we want to use magnesium sulfate. Now, the next question you're going to ask me is, where is magnesium sulfate and where can I get it? And I'm here to tell you it's called Epsom salts. Now, Epsom is the location that they discovered magnesium sulfate. And that's why they call it Epsom, after the location. And salt because it's a residue that was in the water, and when they dehydrated the water, what was left was magnesium sulfate. Now, what if we added eucalyptus to the magnesium sulfate? What would happen? Nobody knows? Okay. Then you're going to have to get the PDF later. So we're going to add eucalyptus oil, essential oil, to magnesium sulfate bath. So you can get the Epsom salts on your own, and I'm going to make up a special mixture for you with eucalyptus and peppermint or spearmint, and I'm going to make that available for you to get to put into your Epsom salt baths. And that is your vaccine, third day, a vaccine for COVID-19 that's going to build up your immune system. And to reiterate what I said yesterday, in case you weren't listening yesterday, 2016, they discovered lymphocytes in your brain. They didn't know they were there. These are called lymphocytes that trigger the immune system in the brain. They didn't know they existed. They have to rewrite the medical textbooks to add this new information. So you have more control over your immune system with your brain, inside your brain, with how you feel about yourself. So hot bath is relaxing. Hot bath relaxes the muscles. We add magnesium sulfate, enters into the pores of the skin, relaxes the brain, relaxes the muscles even further. And then we add essential oils to the water, aromatherapy, as well as entering into the bloodstream. And that's your vaccination to build your immune system against COVID-19.
He's got the vaccine for COVID-19.
So thank you so much for watching and listening.
21daystowellness.com is where everybody goes.
21daystowellness.com is where everyone goes to get the latest information. There's going to be a day-by-day program. You can't jump ahead. I'm not going to let you jump ahead. I'm going to post it every single day. So you got to keep going back to get the latest information. So thank you. If love is the question, if love is the answer, what's your question? Ask Dr. Love Podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and Radio Play. And if you want to listen to the archive shows, you can go to anchor.fm/Ask Dr. Love. Thank you.